Oh. Making good videos and I'm losing people. I will not be deterred! Exclamation point. Although I had to create a new live stream to finish the last piece of that chapter, what most people may not realize is that when my laptop finally came back to life, I was still live! Exclamation point. Exclamation point. And I was able to close out read the final chapter back on the original stream as well, period. It's about 45 minutes after the buffering starts, period. Hopefully today will go much better. Yeah, I thought this was pretty cool too, period. Thanks, Alex! Exclamation point. Oh, no, I don't. I guess I better do that. Let's see. Finish up. I set that first video to unlisted because I was not happy with how it turned out. It did not save. Okay, I did that one already. And my sister is texting me, telling me y'all can hear everything. Well, it's a good thing I didn't pass gas or anything. I'm just doing talk to text on my comment section before I jump on. But thank you. I don't know why that's like that. Let me check it. Oh, yep, I see. Yep, I see the microphone is nice and strong. That's okay. Today's gonna be one of them days anyways. If it wasn't for early birds like you in the room, I wouldn't know. I don't know who this person is, but thank you for watching the channel and leaving feedback. Here's the gold star of participation for leaving your first comment. Okay. And done. So we should be ready to go live now. We're all the way live. We're all the way live. All right.
Let's get this party started. Let's get this party started. Let's get this party started. It's a Bible reading party. Hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh.
I knew that was gonna happen. Oh, but I didn't know that was gonna happen. Is it plugged in? It should be plugged in. Yep, it's plugged in. So you can hear me, but you can't see me. That's interesting. Oh, I think I know why. Not really. Oh boy. Let's find out. What? Okay. How about we unplug it? There we go. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why that did that, but it did that. Hmm. I don't know why it did that, but it did that. And yes, my background is not the way I want it, but at this point, it is too much craziness going on for me to worry about things being perfect. And so, yeah, I'm just going to do it like that. Good morning, everybody. Hopefully, you can hear me now. Hopefully, you can hear me and see me. For all the people in the room, if you can hear me, put the letter K in the room. Put the letter K in the chat. And if you can see me, put the letter give me a heart or something. I don't know. Give me one of those emojis from the little thingy. Yeah, it's been funny. Ever since yesterday. For those of you who were in here with me yesterday, you rock. Because it was funny. My laptop died. Let me give you guys a quick fill in. My laptop, which stays charged up, which I usually keep, I don't know why, but I usually keep it plugged in. I don't know. Do you keep your laptop plugged in? I keep my laptop plugged in. Well, apparently it fell off of it wasn't on a hard surface. It was on like a little chair and it fell off. And while it was plugged in, it fell off and that plug broke broke the little charging port part. And so now I can still plug my computer in, but it's like wiggly. And so here I am yesterday. I'm like, okay, my laptop's plugged in. It shouldn't be a problem. But it kept giving me alerts on my screen saying, you're down to 15%, you're down to 10%, you're down to 5%. And it usually doesn't go that fast. And then instead of saying, we're going in standby mode, it just shut off. Funny thing though, even though my laptop was down, my laptop had died, the live stream was still going. Yes, it was. So the laptop that I used to turn on the live stream was no longer able to turn off the live stream. So if I would have never got my laptop, if I would have never got my laptop to turn back on, that live stream would still be going. Isn't that crazy? Because I turned it on through my laptop and all the software that's on there, and it would have just kept going. So that was interesting. But yes, I ended up going to my phone and going live on my phone, which I had never done. And I didn't know how to use it properly. So I ended up being in a little bubble. And yeah, that was interesting. So thank you. Thank you for everybody who was in the live stream yesterday. And even if you didn't go over to the second live stream, like when it dropped, and I had one of my moderators, well, she actually took the initiative. One of my moderators dropped the link to go to the other one just so I could finish up that chapter. Even for those of you who didn't follow me over there, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here because it was so weird. It was so weird. So anyways, um yeah, I am making a day in the life video. So just for this one moment, I am going to record myself recording myself. I know, sounds funny, right? And this is going to be a little snippet in the video for later. So the time is now 7:05 a.m. It is April 30th, 2020. Is today the last day of the month, you guys? Let's see. January, February, March, April, May. Yes, It is April 30th. Today is the last day of April. And so happy last day of April, everybody. And it is Thursday. Thursday, April 30th, 2020. The time is now 7:05 Texas time, Central Standard Time. All right. That's the clip that I'm going to use later for my video. I'm going to do a day in the life. How does that sound, guys? I actually did a day in the life yesterday. I set my phone off to the side and I put it in like hyper mode or whatever you call it, hyper mode, where it's actually recording you very, very slowly. So when you play it back, it looks like you're going really, really fast. And that's going to come out today. So if anybody's interested, that one is going to come out today. It's a day in the life. It's the sped up version. And it's like four or 5 minutes long. And it shows me going around, zipping around my room. It should be pretty funny. And it's a roundabout. It's a roundabout estimate of what it takes for me to run my channel. For people who may not know, are curious, that should come out today around 3 o'clock. It's on a scheduler. And today I'm going to be doing a real version, like taking a snapshot here and there. And so I might be a little bit off. I'm trying not to be too distracted from what I normally do, but that's part. I don't have a crew. I don't have a crew to film me while I'm doing what I do. And so I have to kind of do a lot of this stuff by myself. So hopefully I won't be too distracted today. I apologize. And as soon as I get this where it's supposed to be, I'm going to set my phone off to the side and I'm just going to do what I do. Because what do we do in the mornings? We read the Bible. Yes, we do. Why do we do it? It's a Bible reading party. Absolutely. You got it. Okay, so that is set off to the side now. But yeah, keep an eye out for that video later on today. It's a day in the life of a YouTuber. It's like a 5-minute video and it shows hours worth of footage and a little bit of time. And then today I'm going to do a part 2 where I'm actually taking a picture of the clock every time I do something and letting people know. It might look like fun and games on that side of the screen, but there's a lot that goes into it. But I love it. All right, with all that being said, Nicole is the first person in the room, says, good morning, 40 fam, Life of Key, good morning. That's me. That's my bot, actually. Bless the button, y'all. Bless the button. Bless the button. Bless the button when you come in. If you want to share me out, make sure that you do it again. Katide and Cooking Mama's Homestead says, good morning. Eva Frazier, good morning, everyone. Nicole's got musical notes. I think I was singing earlier. I gave my thumbs up. Thumbs up, everyone. We can hear and see you perfectly. And yeah, I usually have it muted. And at the beginning, I was still doing stuff on my phone. Like I said, it's a good thing. It's a good thing I live right. It's a good thing I live right because as many times as I get caught being recorded unexpectedly, let's just say it's a good thing I live my life right. Nicole says, okay, K. Oh, no, that was a K because I said if you can hear me, put the K. If you can see me, give me an emoji. So we got some emojis in there. Good. Because wasn't picking me up. The life of a YouTuber. Bring those May flowers. Thankfully, because April was kind of, well, here in Texas, it was unusually cold and rainy. It's usually rainy, but it was like cold and rainy and really overcast this month. What does it mean? What does it mean? I don't know. What does what mean? Now I'm curious. Level 1, level 2, level 3. That is a bot. That's a good bot, not a bad bot. I went to Nightbot or Botissimo. It's a little website that you can use. It's kind of like a moderator, but not a moderator. You can program it to say things every once in a while. It does help you keep some of that spam down so people won't use certain words or too many emojis. And this particular one, I didn't program it to do that, but the more you talk, it gives you rewards. It kind of levels you up. Because sometimes when you're in a live stream, certain live streams, naturally they talk a lot. Other live streams, people don't talk too much, and that's not good. That does not make your live stream healthy. The more people talk, the healthier it is because it makes your live stream active. And YouTube looks at that and they say, oh, wow, something is going on over there. And they really enjoy the conversation because they keep participating. It's all about participation. So that little bot, it automatically does that. Botissimo, that's where it came from, Botissimo. And it will give people different levels. So every time you talk, it gives you level 1, level 2, not every single time, but like maybe every 2 or 3 things that you put, it will acknowledge you as participating. So that's what that is. I can program it to say certain things, but that's the automatic thing that it does. And I have not Nightbot is in here too. Nightbot is dropping a link to the Facebook page every once in a while, but I had to take Nightbot off of moderator because Nightbot was putting everybody in timeout. You know, Nightbot is pretty similar, and if you say too many things too fast, like almost like you're dominating the conversation or you're flooding the conversation, Nightbot will put you in timeout. Even if it's like, hey, I'm here. What's going on? Like moderator. Because he was too sensitive. It was blocking everybody. But that's that. Joshua, boy oh boy, look at me, Kenya. I'm in the book of Judges. I've never read this much of the Bible before. Let me see something real quick. Acts, Romans. I'm gonna show you something real quick that I just noticed. I don't know about you guys, but I've never read this much of the Bible by myself. I've read this much. All this in my hand, I've read. That's the Old Testament. I've read this much of the Bible, and this is how much I've read of the New Testament. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts, Romans. So that's a nice little chunk. Put it together, maybe not that much. Put it together, and I've read this much of the Bible. Whoop, there we go. I've read this much of the Bible. So it's almost like I feel like I've gone through half of it. But I keep going back and forth from Old Testament to New Testament, Old Testament to New Testament. So it doesn't seem like it keeps it very, very fresh the way that the guide shows me how to read it. And I'm going to show you the guide in just 1 second. Do a screen share. I feel like I'm still a little bit off and discombobulated from yesterday. Let me make sure you guys can see. Let me look at my phone, see what you see. Yes, we are all on one accord. Good, good, good. You're looking at the page that I'm looking at, which says Romans 10 through 12, Romans 13 through 16. That was Monday and Tuesday. Judges 1 through 3. That was yesterday. No, it wasn't. It was Wednesday. Yeah, that was yesterday. And Judges 4 through 6. So we are going to be reading Judges 4 through 6. These are the checkpoints that at some point you should be hearing something about. And I have yet to have somebody tell me checkpoint, but it doesn't mean that they're not listening. It just maybe means that they're paying attention to the story and they just didn't realize that was a checkpoint. So a living sacrifice, that was in Romans, a burden bearing, 2 brave women, and a piece of fleece, an unwise vow. That is some of the stuff we're going to be reading about this week. This is the cover, and as you can see, this is the pace that I'm reading. This particular guide helps me pace myself. Sometimes I'm in the Old Testament, like right here. Sometimes I'm in the New Testament. Or wait, that's backwards. You see what it is. It goes from Old Testament to New Testament to Old Testament to New Testament, back and forth. And this is the title. This is the cover in case anybody's interested in getting their own. If you want to look it up on your own, that's what it looks like. I do have the link in the description. The link to that, oops, that wasn't supposed to happen. The link to that study guide is in the description. The link to this book is in the description. The link to this book is in the description. This is my Bible Dictionary compact version. This is my New Believer's Bible compact version. This is the New Living Translation, which is a modern day read, or it's an easy to read version, as they call it. Let me get back to my live chat so I can see you guys. Okay, so let me see. Let me do a quick rundown or a recap of yesterday. Make sure. What are the checkpoints for today? I hope you just asked me that. I hope you asked me that after the thing, but I will read it. I will read it again. It doesn't, to answer your specific question, it does not tell me what the day's checkpoints will be. It tells you what the checkpoints are for the week, for the whole week. So like we were in two different books. We were in Romans and then we were in Judges. Like it doesn't tell me which book it's gonna be in. It's just like you just have to keep your ears perked up. Like, she said we were gonna be hearing something about a fleece. I don't even know what that means. But yeah, fleece. The checkpoints for the week, not for the day. The checkpoints for the week are burden bearing, two brave women, a piece of fleece, an unwise vow. Something is burden bearing. I don't know if that's an animal or a person. Two brave women, doesn't tell us who it will be. A piece of fleece, and an unwise vow. That's for the whole week. So it doesn't give anything besides that. All right, all right, all right. Mr. David's in the house. I think you're David, right? I think I tried to pronounce your name once, or I think you told somebody in the room. But yes, my Russian friend gives me a rose. Hello, welcome back. You see me? You want me to smell the rose? Is that what that is? It smells beautiful. Thank you for that rose. Grand Rising Kenya, and it's not biscuit time. Yes, ma'am. I won't say that anymore. I wasn't trying to be funny, but that's what it reminded me of. But Miss Destiny, you gonna make me blush. Yes, ma'am. Grand Rising. Grand. I really do like that though. Grand Rising. It sounds so cinematic. Not cinnamon. Cinematic. You know, like a movie. Like wow. Like ooh. Let me stop because I feel like every time I start, I put my foot in my mouth, and my foot does not have cinnamon on it. So yeah. Yes. So let me see. Your name is David, right? I'm trying to remember. Your name is David, right? Don't make me break out my Google Translate. Don't make me break out my Google Translate. I don't know if I'll be able to do very much. If I'm in somebody else's live stream, I can use it and participate. But if you're in my live stream, I might not be able to keep up with what you're saying. David, do you know any English? I understand your emojis. I understand your emojis. I feel like I've seen some of these words before though. Let me see real quick. I don't want to get too far off. Too far off track because you guys know it doesn't take much for me to get far off. Um, yes. How's it going? How's it going? There we go. How's it going? It's going good. It's going really good. Everything is good, as a matter of fact. I think your name is David. I think your name is David. Yeah. I'm trying to remember where I met you from. David, I'm gonna translate one or two things for you, but then I can't do it too much because it would be taking too long. As a matter of fact, I can't even highlight your name because I don't have the Russian Cyrillic. I don't have Cyrillic on my. I don't have Cyrillic on my keyboard. But that is for you, my friend. Everything is okay. Ah, boy, David, do y'all read the Bible? I would love to get my hands on a Russian Bible. That would be so cool. I don't know why, because I wouldn't be able to read it. I got a Spanish Bible, but I wouldn't be able to read it. This old helmet says hello. This old helmet. Well, is it polished up and newly? Is it polished up and what did it say? Polished up? This old helmet. You've never been in here before. This old helmet. And since you've never been in here before, can everybody tell this old helmet hello, good morning, grand rising, howdy, zdravstvuyte? Man, I can never say that. David, say hello and welcome to this old helmet. Uh, zdravstvuyte. I cannot say that word. I tried it. I tried. But yeah, whatever language y'all speak, In whatever way is your favorite way, tell this old helmet hello and welcome. And that's what I'm giving you right there. This is the gold star of participation because you're new and because you took the time to say hello. And I appreciate that. So, yeah, bless the like button on your way in. Just, casually going over to it and bless it. Bless that like button. Let me know that you are enjoying the live stream and that you're supporting me by giving me a thumbs up. Okay, we are reading the Bible for everybody who's new in here. I do this every morning, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. It's now 7:21, so I need to get it in gear. Like the title says on the thumbnail, I'm in the book of Judges. So I've been reading all year. I'm going to keep reading all through the year, God willing. As long as I'm here, I'll be reading the Bible. And I'm in the book of Judges. Yesterday, we just started. So chapters 1, 2, and 3 were read yesterday. And I'm going to do a recap right now. So you guys talk amongst yourselves. I'm just going to do a quick recap. And in between me reading, I do check in with you guys, but I like to at least read enough of the passage for it to be, chunked together, and then I will check in with you guys. So, let's see. I have never visited. Yes, I see that part. Bless the like button. I'm not religious. However, I'm interested in the concept of a God. Well, you're in the right place. I'm very interesting. You're interested in the concept of a God, and I'm very interesting. We're like a match made in heaven. So there you go. Okay, yeah. So let me get to it. And let me know what you think. This old hat. This is an old hat too. Oh, I took my hat off. My hat's over there. I threw it off right before I got on. Okay, so this is what happened yesterday. We were in chapter 1. Judah and Simeon conquered the land. So Judah and Simeon were people, but they were actually tribes, like the 12 tribes of Israel. The 12 tribes of Israel that had actually developed and came up out of Egypt after, just a couple people went there, and then it grew into this big nation of people. So that Simeon and Judah conquer the land. This is after they had gone through the wilderness for 40 years with Moses. They had gone through all this time. They finally came to the promised land. The promised land is theirs. The Lord has blessed them to be able to take over this land, and that's what's going on there. However, there was trouble in paradise. No pun intended. Israel actually failed to conquer parts of the land. And there was a breakdown in chapter 1 talking about the descendants of the tribe of Benjamin. They failed. The tribe of Manasseh, they failed. The tribe of Ephraim, they failed to drive out all these different people. The tribe of Zebulun failed. The tribe of Asher failed. Naphtali failed. The tribe of Dan failed. So they did have initial success when they first went into this land. But then when we go over to chapter 2, it breaks it down. Well, what happened? They were doing so well. And it's because when Moses was taking them to the land, there was this list of instructions like, this is how we are to live. These are the rules. These are the regulations. This is how we are to worship God. Do this. Don't do this. Be very specific. That was back in here when we were reading all that stuff. It was kind of dry. It was kind of dry and kind of intense, but it was a list of things very specific. Do this. Don't do this. Well, it got to the point where once they started getting settled in, they started disobeying and they started kind of slacking off. That's what's being explained in chapter 2. The Lord's messenger comes to Bochim, and after Joshua died, Joshua was one of the leaders. After the leader died, the people kind of started doing their own thing, and they were no longer obedient. Excuse me. Hopefully hopefully the elephant doesn't come back in the room. Who gave me that nickname? Rock and Roller was here. I blow my nose from time to time. I try not to do it too much, but I have sinus issues, so sorry. So after the death of Joshua, Israel began to be disobedient, and so the Lord stopped giving them favor. Because at one point the Lord was like, I'm blessing you, you got this. I'm blessing you, you got this. I'm blessing you, you got this. But please stay obedient. And I take that for my own personal experience. Like I have 2 kids, right? One is an adult; he's out on his own now, and I have one teenager. I love my daughter. I love my daughter. That's not a question. But there are certain things that I don't do for her because she's kind of lazy. Don't tell her I said that. I love my daughter. She's a good kid. She's got a good heart. but she doesn't do her chores like at all. She's always making excuses. So when she's being disobedient, I don't go out of my way to punish her, but I also don't go out of my way to reward her. You see what I'm saying? Like sometimes I will go out, I'll get a treat or something, and if I come back, she will notice, you didn't get me a treat. And I look around the house and I see that the cat box has been full of boo boo for 3, 4 days. I see the dishes have been there for 2, 3 days. I see the floor hasn't been swept. I see all these things that she knows she's supposed to do, and I still love her, but I'm not going to go out of my way to reward you. So when I'm reading this, that's what it reminds me of my own life. I'm always going to love you. I'm always going to be here for you. I will protect you. But when it comes to me going out of my way to give you those nice things, you're not even obeying me. And so, yeah, you're not going to get all that extra stuff. That's my interpretation of it. Let me know what yours is. This live stream is open for opinions, understandings, interpretations, a little bit of debate, just as long as as long as we're all respecting each other. But yeah, that's what was going on in chapter 2. They had favor with the Lord. They were given this land. They were disobedient. All of a sudden, they weren't the top dog anymore. They started losing. However, the Lord rescues his people. This is what the book of Judges about. Judges is about. I don't know why they call them judges. I still don't know why they call them judges, but judges are people picked out from the tribe who are picked, and then they started winning the battles for the people. Who did we have yesterday? We had Othniel, we had Ehud, and we had Shamgar. So we had those 3 judges. Those were people within the group that the Lord picked out and said, hey, step up to the plate and help the people out. Okay, you step up to the plate and win these, help, be the leader to these people. So that's what happened. And then that brings us to 4. So there we go. We're all caught up. That's what happened yesterday, chapters 1, 2, and 3 in the book of Judges. Let's see. We got some more Russian that I can't understand, but I'm still happy that you're here. I have 2 kids. My son is 3. He broke my blinds, disassembled the hinges on the front door. He removes and hides the floor vents. Can I swap you for your teenager for 24 hours? I'm good. I'm good. That actually sounds like my son at that age. My son is 22, gonna be 23 now. My son was a handful. Yes, he was a handful. Let's just call him a free spirit. He didn't feel the necessity for rules and regulations, and so he just made them up as he went along. I love you, Jason. My son doesn't watch. So my son is going on his own spiritual journey. He doesn't believe any of this, and I still love him. I still wish the best for him, and I still pray for him. But my son doesn't believe any of this, and he just does his own thing. Lord, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, Lord. And Jason, I'm sorry for putting your business out there. But he knows. He knows what his mama does. I always invite anybody, whether they believe or not believe, just come and listen. Come if you don't enjoy the spiritual aspect of it, there is the literature aspect of it. Like especially when we start talking about the Psalms. Where were we at? Yeah, the Psalms. We did the Psalms like 2 weeks ago. Anybody who's into poetry, read the book of Psalms. It's so heart-wrenching. It's just the emotions. You can almost taste the emotions that's in the book of Psalms. And so yeah. Anyways, I'm getting off track again. Now that I've caught up with you guys, Jason is a natural leader. Yeah, it is. And Jason's in the Bible. I didn't know that. I didn't know my son was in the Bible. We read about him in Romans. I was like, Jason. Okay, let me jump on in, you guys. So this is the actual reading for today. So you're right in time. This is actually where the Bible reading starts. Chapter 4, Deborah becomes Israel's judge. Who's Deborah? I guess I gotta read to find out. Deborah becomes Israel's judge. After Ehud's death, ooh, you should have been here yesterday for Ehud. He was this left-handed dude. You know how people normally shake with their right hand, and shaking with your right hand is a symbol of friendship. because people fight with their right hand. And so if I'm giving you my right hand, that means I don't have a weapon. Ehud was left-handed. So he went to King Elgon, and well, you got to go to the replay yesterday. You got to go to the replay, but it was some drama. It was like, ooh. Okay, chapter 4. After Ehud's death, the Israelites again did evil in the Lord's sight. That seems to be a pattern. When they have a leader, they are on their best behavior. When the leader dies, they wild out. When they have a leader, they do a little bit better. And then when the leader dies, they're wilding out. So that's a pattern that I've noticed. So the Lord turned them over to King Jabin of Hazor, a Canaanite king. The commander of his army was Sisera, who lived in Harosheth Hagoyim. Sisera, who had 900 iron chariots, ruthlessly oppressed the Israelites for 20 years. Then the people of Israel cried out to the Lord for help. In verse 4, it says, Deborah, the wife of Lapidus, was a prophet. So Deborah was a prophet. I didn't know that. Who was judging Israel at that time. She would sit under the palm of Deborah between Ramah and Bethel in the hill country of Ephraim, and the Israelites would go to her for judgment. One day she sent for Barak, son of Abinoam. Did y'all know Barak was in the Bible? Hold on, let me make sure this one is up to the camera, because, and this is not a political live stream. This will never be a political live stream, but I just want to point this out because there's so many names that come from the Bible. I did not know. Hold on, let me make sure I can see it. Okay, this is right up under my finger. Dang, now I lost it. Okay, it's right up under my finger. Hold on. Now I gotta make sure my camera is facing me so I can see it. Good grief, Kenya. Okay, it's right after verse 6. Okay, right after verse 6. Where am I at? I'm in verse 4 of 6. Verse 4 of 6. Okay. Y'all see let me know when you see it on the page. If I can stop moving my finger, if I can stop moving the book. It's gonna focus. Hold on. There we go. When you see the word Barak, put the word Barak in the chat. I know that is so bad with the you know what I'm gonna do? This is a plug-in. Hold on. I'm gonna get a little raw and uncensored here. Cause I'm trying to focus this thing and it's not focusing. So there we go. When you see the word Barak, put it in the chat. This doesn't have any significance or anything. Let me make sure oh, good grief, Kenya. What is today? What is today? Ah, this is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. There we go. When you see the word Barak, put the word Barak in the chat. Y'all see it, right? It says, one day she sent for Barak, the son of Abinoam, who lived in Kadesh, in the land of Naphtali. She said to him, this is what the Lord, the God of Israel, commands you. I don't know why it doesn't want to, I don't know why it doesn't want to focus, but there we go. Nicole has seen it. The spelling is slightly different. So Barack does spell, former President Barack Obama does spell his name with a C. This one is Barak. Oh, that just makes me so mad that I can't focus. I don't know why, but it doesn't. Maybe I don't have it on autofocus. Yeah, I don't think I have it on autofocus because it should be focusing now. So let me change that real quick so that it auto focuses. I don't know why, but I look super greasy right now, don't I? Like the way the light is shining on me, I look super greasy. I washed my face this morning, but man, I look like I got a bunch of Vaseline on my face. There we go. Okay, autofocus is on. Autofocus off, autofocus on. There we go. It's because I had to plug it in and some of the stuff was not reset. Anyways. Anyways. See, old hat, I don't know what you were expecting when you came in here, but this is definitely not a boring Bible reading. We're all over the place. If you're still here, I don't know if you're still here. This old helmet, I said old hat. This old helmet, a helmet is to protect your head from war and from impact and things like that. Let's see. Okay. I have 2 kids. Okay. Jason's a natural leader. Welcome. Hit the like button. Speaking of sons, mine is awake now. I have to go be a daddy. Okay. Go do them daddy duties. Good luck with your stream. I appreciate that. And welcome back anytime. Welcome back anytime. Let's see. Laverne is wondering if David speaks any English. I don't think he does, but that's okay. You know what I've noticed? When you speak a foreign language, I'm speaking of myself, sometimes you can understand the other person, but you can't repeat it. Like I can speak Spanish and I can understand some Portuguese, but I can't speak Portuguese. I can understand some French, but I can't speak French. So maybe he's here just listening in and that's fine. And if that is the language that you feel the most comfortable speaking in, no problem, no problem. You are welcome here, my friend. Later on, I can go in through the chat and I can translate what you're saying. I just can't translate right now. Let's see. Barack, I see the word. You look fine. Barack, I see it. Definitely not boring. Okay. Okay, there we go. So yes. We got 7 likes with 11 views. Can't beat that with a bat. All right, so let's go back to Barack. I just thought that was interesting. I hate to take things off topic, but when I see certain names, I'm like, wow, I did not know that had a biblical reference. So let's go back to Deborah. This is chapter 4, verse 4. Deborah, the wife of Lapidus, was a prophet who was judging Israel at that time. She would sit under the palm of Deborah between Ramah and Bethel in the hill country of Ephraim, and the Israelites would go to her for judgment. Okay, I guess I kind of understand that. Judgment. That's what was happening in the book of Leviticus. If there was a disagreement between you and your fellow tribesmen, you went to the judge so they could make a decision. Who's right? Who's wrong? Who owes the money? Who should pay somebody back? Who's guilty? Who's innocent? So I understand that part now. One day she sent for Barak, who's the son of Abinoam, who lived in Kadesh in the land of Naphtali. She said to him, "This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, commands you. Call out 10,000 warriors from the tribes of Naphtali and Zebulun at Mount Tabor. And I will call out Sisera, commander of Jabin's army, along with his chariots and warriors to the Kishon River." Kishon, I know some Kishons. "There I will give you victory over him." Barak told her, "I will go, but only if you go with me." "Very well," she replied, "I will go with you, but you will receive no honor in this venture, for the Lord's victory over Sisera will be at the hands of a woman." So Deborah went with Barak to Kadesh. At Kadesh, Barak called together the tribes of Zebulun and Naphtali and 10,000 warriors and went up with him. Deborah also went with him. Now Heber the Kenite, a descendant of Moses' brother-in-law, Hobab, had moved away from the other members of his tribe and pitched his tent by the oak of Zaanaim near Kadesh. When Sisera was told that Barak, son of Abinoam, had gone up to Mount Tabor, he called for all 900 of his iron chariots and all of his warriors, and they marched from Harosheth Hagoyim to the Kishon River. Then Deborah said to Barak, "Get ready. This is the day the Lord will give you victory over Sisera, for the Lord is marching ahead of you." So Barak led his 10,000 warriors down the slopes of Mount Tabor into battle. When Barak attacked, the Lord threw Sisera and all his chariots and warriors into a panic. Sisera leaped down from his chariot and escaped on foot. Then Barak chased the chariots and the enemy all the way to Harosheth Hagoyim, killing all of Sisera's warriors. Not a single one was left alive. Meanwhile, Sisera ran to the tent of Jael, who's the wife of Heber the Kenite, because Heber's family was on friendly terms with the king of Jabin Hazer. Jael went out to meet Sisera and said to him, "Come into my tent, sir. Come in. Don't be afraid." So he went into the tent, and she covered him with a blanket. "Please give me some water," he said. "I'm thirsty." Yeah, after running away all the time, I guess so. So she gave him some milk from a leather bag and covered him again. "Stand at the door of the tent," he told her. "If anybody comes and asks you if there's anyone here, say no." But when Sisera fell asleep from exhaustion, Jael quickly crept up to him with a hammer and tent peg in her hand. "Oh, sooky sooky, it's about to go down." Then she drove the tent peg through his temple and into the ground, and so he died. What a way to go. Ouch. A tent peg, tent peg, they're like long nails, really, really long to go deep into the ground to make sure that the tents don't fly off with the wind. Really, really thick iron pegs. Wow. Ooh. Okay, so that's what happened in verse 21. In verse 22, when Barak came looking for Sisera, Jael went out to meet him. She said, "Come, I will show you the man you're looking for." So he followed her into the tent and found Sisera lying there dead with the tent peg through his temple. So on that day, Israel saw God defeat Jabin, the Canaanite king, and from that time on, Israel became stronger and stronger against King Jabin until they finally destroyed him. And so that Deborah was a prophet, right? And that's what she prophesied. She says, "You will win, but the victory won't be at your hands. It will be at the hands of a woman." And that woman was Jael. All right, let me check in with you guys and then go on to chapter 5. We got Brother David saying some stuff that I will translate later. We got Barak. We got checkpoint. Is it? Let me see. I feel like it was. Two brave women. Not yet. Not brave. I think you're talking about two brave women. Burden bearing. No, not yet. But close. Close, close, close. I just looked at the Kindle thing. We got Barak. We got Barak. All right, let me go on to chapter 5. Chapter 5 is the Song of Deborah. Make sure I can see myself so I can. I've been trying to avoid. Man, I've been trying to avoid the balloons. I don't want to show all that stuff off to the side, but I might have to. I've been trying to show let the balloons go up. If you haven't left a thumbs up already, now would be a great time to do it. It really does help the live stream. It helps other people find it because YouTube recognizes every one of those thumbs up as it being something good for them to recommend to others. So bless the like button, please. This is chapter 5. It is the Song of Deborah. Oh, I didn't know I was going to be singing this morning. It's a long song. The whole chapter is a song, you guys. Song of Deborah. On that day, Deborah and Barak, son of Abinoam, sang this song. Israel's leaders took charge, and the people gladly followed. Praise the Lord. Listen, you kings. Pay attention, you mighty rulers. For I will sing to the Lord. I will make music to the Lord, the God of Israel. Lord, when you set out from Seir and marched across the fields of Edom, the earth trembled, and the cloudy skies poured down rain. The mountains quaked in the presence of the Lord, the God of Mount Sinai, in the presence of the Lord. the God of Israel. In the days of Shamgar, son of Anath, and in the days of Jael, people avoided the main roads, and travelers stayed on winding pathways. There were few people left in the villages of Israel until Deborah arose as a mother for Israel. When Israel chose new gods, war erupted at the city gates. Yet not a shield or spear could be seen among 40,000 warriors in Israel. My heart is with the commanders of Israel, with those who volunteered for war. Praise the Lord. Consider this, you who ride on fine donkeys, you who sit on fancy saddle blankets, and you who walk along the road. Listen to the village musicians gathered at the watering holes. They recount the righteous victories of the Lord and the victories of his villagers in Israel. Then the people of the Lord marched down to the city gates. Wake up, Deborah, wake up, wake up, wake up, and sing a song. Arise, Barak, lead your captives away, son of Abinoam. Down from Tabor marched the few against the nobles. The people of the Lord marched down against mighty warriors. They came down from Ephraim, a land that once belonged to the Amalekites. They followed you, Benjamin, with your troops. From Machir, the commanders marched down. From Zebulun came those who carry a commander's staff. The princes of Issachar were with Deborah and Barak. They followed Barak, rushing into the valley. But in the tribe of Reuben, there was great indecision. Why did you sit at home among the sheepfolds to hear the shepherds whistle for their flocks? Yes, in the tribe of Reuben there was great indecision. Gilead remained east of the Jordan, and why did Dan stay home? Asher sat unmoved at the seashore, remaining at its harbors. But Zebulun risked his life, as did Naphtali on the heights of the battlefield. The kings of Canaan came and fought at Tanakh near Megiddo springs, but they carried off no silver treasure. The stars fought from heaven. The stars in their orbits fought against Sisera. The Kishon River swept them away, that ancient torrent, the Kishon. March on with courage, my soul. Then the horses' hooves hammered the ground, the galloping, galloping of Sisera's mighty steeds. Let the people of Meroz be cursed, said the angel of the Lord. Let them be utterly cursed, because they did not come to help the Lord. To help the Lord against the mighty warriors. Most blessed among women is Jael, the wife of Heber the Kenite. May she be blessed above all women who live in tents. Sisera asked for water, and she gave him milk. In a bowl fitted for nobles, she brought him yogurt. Then with her left hand she reached for a tent peg, and with her right hand for the workman's hammer. She struck Sisera with the hammer, crushing his head. With a shattering blow she pierced his temples. He sank, he fell, he lay still at her feet, and where he sank, there he died. From the window Sisera's mother looked out. Through the window she watched for his return, saying, Why is his chariot so long in coming? Why don't we hear the sound of chariot wheels? Her wise woman answer, and she repeats these words to herself. They must be dividing the captured plunder, with a woman or two for every man. There will be colorful robes for Sisera, and colorful embroidered robes for me. Yes, the plunder will include colorful robes embroidered on both sides. Lord, may all your enemies die like Sisera, but may those who love you rise like the sun in all its power. Then there was peace in the land for 40 years. I've got one more chapter to go, but before I do that, I'm gonna check in with you guys. Oh, I'm not seeing things. I'm not seeing. Hold on. The chat has stopped again, and so I'm going to check in on my phone. I got somebody who was hidden, who is actually one of my YouTube friends. I'm not really sure why that person was hidden. I don't know if there was I don't know if she dropped a link. I don't know if she um used a spam word. But if one of my moderators can unblock Blessing, that would be good. Blessing is a good person. Blessing is a friend, and I didn't get a chance to see what she said. I don't know if it was an accident, but yes, Blessing the Great should be hidden, should be unhidden. But other than that, I don't see any more in the chat, and so I'm going to keep going on. I'm going to keep reading because we've got one more chapter to go and then we're done. But yes, for my moderator who blocked Blessing the Great, please unblock her. That is my YouTube friend, and she is most welcome here. If something pops up that shouldn't be said, then I'll see what that is. But yes, unblock her if you can. All right, this is the last chapter for today. Chapter 6. Gideon. Gideon becomes Israel's judge. The Israelites did evil in the Lord's sight. So the Lord handed them over to the Midianites for 7 years. The Midianites were so cruel that the Israelites made hiding places for themselves in the mountains, caves, and strongholds. Whenever the Israelites planted their crops, marauders from Midian, Amalek, and the people of the east would attack Israel, camping in the land and destroying crops as far away as Gaza. They left the Israelites with nothing to eat, taking all the sheep, goats, cattle, and donkeys. These enemy hordes, coming with their livestock and tents, were as thick as locusts. They arrived on droves of camels too numerous to count, and they stayed until the land was stripped bare. So Israel was reduced to starvation by the Midianites. Then the Israelites cried out to the Lord for help. When they cried out to the Lord because of Midian, the Lord sent a prophet to the Israelites. He said, "This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says: I brought you up out of slavery in Egypt. I rescued you from the Egyptians and from all who oppressed you. I drove you I drove out your enemies and gave you their land. I told you I am the Lord your God. You must not worship the gods of the Amorites, in whose land you now live. But you have not listened to me." Then the angel of the Lord came and sat beneath the great tree at Ophrah, Ophrah, at Ophrah, which belonged to Joash of the clan of Abiezer. Gideon, son of Joash, was threshing wheat at the bottom of a winepress to hide the grain from the Midianites. The angel of the Lord appeared to him and said, "Mighty hero, the Lord is with you." "Sir," Gideon replied, "if the Lord is with us, why has all this happened to us? And where are all the miracles our ancestors told us about? Didn't they say the Lord brought us up out of Egypt? But now the Lord has abandoned us and handed us over to the Midianites." Then the Lord turned to him and said, "Go with the strength you have and rescue Israel from the Midianites. I am sending you." "But Lord," Gideon replied, "how can I rescue Israel? My clan is the weakest in the whole tribe of Manasseh, and I am the least in my entire family." The Lord said to him, "I will be with you, and you will destroy the Midianites, as if you were fighting against one man." Gideon replied, "If you are truly going to help me, show me a sign to prove that it really is the Lord speaking to me. Don't go away until I come back and bring my offering to you." He answered, "I will stay here until you return." Gideon hurried home. He cooked the young goat, and with a basket of flour, he baked some bread without yeast. Then, carrying the meat in a basket and the broth in a pot, he brought them out and presented them to the angel who was under the great tree. The angel of God said to him, "Place the meat and the unleavened bread on this rock, and pour the broth over it." And Gideon did as he was told. Then the angel of the Lord touched the meat and bread with the tip of his staff, and fire flamed up from the rock and consumed all he had brought. And the angel of the Lord disappeared. When Gideon realized that it was the angel of the Lord, he cried out, "Oh, sovereign Lord, I'm doomed. I've seen the angel of the Lord face to face." "It is all right," the Lord replied. "Do not be afraid. You will not die." And Gideon built an altar to the Lord there and named it Yahweh Shalom, which means the Lord is peace. The altar remains in Ophrah, in the land of clan of Abiezer to this day. That night the Lord said to Gideon, "Take the second bull from your father's herd, the one that is 7 years old. Pull down your father's altar to Baal and cut down the Asherah pole standing beside it. Then build an altar to the Lord your God here on this hilltop sanctuary, laying the stones carefully. Sacrifice the bull as a burnt offering on the altar, using as fuel the wood of Asherah pole you cut down." So remember, you guys, I put up some images yesterday of the Asherah poles, and also talked a little bit about who Baal was, one of the gods that the surrounding people were worshiping. And so we had that. I did show a picture of Molech, which was a different type of god that the people were worshiping. But that is very surprising to see, even in the tribe of Israel, after seeing all this, going through all this, witnessing the miracles, people are slipping back into basically paganism. Like this is a group of Jews that has been living a certain way, set apart. They have the Ark of the Covenant, they have the laws, it should be passed down through generation and generation, but somehow they keep slipping into paganism and they keep worshiping these other gods. And that's why they keep getting handed over to their enemies until they cry out, "Oh Lord, help us, help us." But yeah, that's the Asherah poles that we were learning about yesterday or talking about. It says here, this is verse 25. Verse 25, it says, "That night the Lord said to Gideon, Take the second bull from your father's herd, the one that is 7 years old. Pull down, take it down. Pull down your father's altar to Baal, Baal. That was one of the gods. So take down that pagan altar and cut down that Asherah pole standing beside it." Let's see, this is verse 28. "Early the next morning, as the people of the town began to stir, someone discovered that the altar of Baal had been broken down and that the Asherah pole beside it had been cut down. In their place, a new altar had been built, and on it were the remains of the bull that had been sacrificed. The people said to each other, 'Who did this?' And after asking around and making a careful search, they learned that it was Gideon, the son of Joash. 'Bring out your son,' the men of the town demanded of Joash. 'He must die for destroying the altar of Baal and cutting down the Asherah pole.' But Joash shouted to the mob that confronted him, 'Why are you defending Baal? Will you argue his case? Whoever pleads his case will be put to death by morning. If Baal truly is a god, let him defend himself and destroy the one who broke down this altar.' From then on, Gideon was called Jerub-Baal, which means 'let Baal defend himself,' because he broke down Baal's altar." Verse 33 talks about Gideon asked for a sign. "Soon afterward, the armies of Midian, Amalek, and the people of the east formed an alliance against Israel and crossed the Jordan, camping in the valley of Jezreel. Then the Spirit of the Lord took possession of Gideon. He blew a ram's horn as a call to arms, and the men of the clan Abiezer came to him. He also sent messengers throughout Manasseh, Asher, Zebulun, and Naphtali, summoning their warriors, and all of them responded. Then Gideon said to God, "If you are truly going to use me to rescue Israel as you promised, prove it to me this way. I will put a wool fleece on the threshing floor tonight. If the fleece is wet with dew in the morning, but the ground is dry, then I will know that you are going to help me rescue Israel as you promised." And that is just what happened. When Gideon got up early the next morning, he squeezed the fleece and wrung out a whole bowl full of water. Then Gideon said to God, "Please don't be angry with me, but let me make one more request. Let me use this fleece for one more test. This time, let the fleece remain dry while the ground is wet with dew. So that night, God did as Gideon asked. The fleece was dry in the morning, but the ground was covered with dew. And that is the end of today's Bible reading. And it seems like we did hit some checkpoints. I don't know if they were out of order or what. Two brave women. Okay, so maybe that was the checkpoint. Two brave women would be Deborah and Jael. A piece of fleece would be this test that he just went through. But burden bearing, I'm not sure what the burden bearing would be. Burden bearing, I don't know if that's like figurative or literal burden bearing. A living sacrifice, that was in the book of Romans. I'm not sure what the burden bearing was. Maybe that's also in Romans. Bearing the burden of, being a follower of Christ. Maybe that's what that was. Because in Romans, it was talking about, yeah, I think that's what that would be. Paul traveling, Paul trying to keep the peace between the different cultures within the new church. Yeah, I think that's what that was. I think the burden bearing had to do with Romans. Two brave women would be Jael and Deborah, a piece of fleece. That means the fleece was soaking wet, even though it was on a dry ground. And then the next time it was dry, even though the ground was wet. And then an unwise vow would be the next part. I have a feeling, okay, I do see something. I was going to say, I have a feeling there's a glitch going on because there's a long period of time where nobody was talking, but maybe not. I do see Nicole just said, I knew we hit some checkpoints. I said checkpoints with the two women. Very good, very good. And I'm glad that you said that because either this is another day where people are just not really talkative or there was a glitch. But when people don't talk, I don't know what's going on with the live stream if I don't see regular activity. So thank you for letting me know that. The reading is over so soon, is it? We're at an hour and 14 minutes. So this is about the average time. This is the average time. There's no supplementary pieces. You know how sometimes there's a little extra piece in here? We're not going to get any of those. It doesn't look like in the book of Judges. Yeah, I'm looking through the whole book of Judges, which is actually quite short. And there's no supplementary pieces. There's no little commentary pieces. So that makes part of it to be shorter than when it normally is. And then I tried my best to stay on topic. I know sometimes I go all over the place, but I did try my best to stay on topic. I think that helped it to stay kind of condensed and short. And yeah, then there was not too many people talking today. And usually I respond to a lot of the stuff going on in the chat. And so you can't talk back to somebody who's not talking unless it's you. So I'm talking to you. I did have some, let me see. I had some chat going on and then it kind of died off. Let me see if I can toggle my timestamps. So let's see. 7:37. Around 7:30, 7:37 is when people were talking and then it kind of died off. And I don't know if they were just listening very carefully. But yeah. I had my friend from Russia in here. Hold on, matter of fact, let me just do a whole roll call. Yeah, I don't know why that was I don't know why that was I don't know why that part I don't know if that was an accident or if that was misinterpreted, but Blessing the Great said good evening, sis. And yeah, she is in Korea right now, so it is nighttime for her. I don't know why that message was hidden, but I did unhide it and I did unblock you. I don't know why you were blocked. Unless there was a lot more going on that I didn't see. What does it mean? Yep, I remember you asking about that. Talking about the levels. Level 1, level 2, level 3. Okay. Now it's not good to put actual numbers. It's not good to put actual numbers in the chat. Sometimes people do, but it looks funny to YouTube. But she actually did take time to spell those out. She spelled out 1, she spelled out 2, she spelled out 3. So that is perfectly fine. That is good. My moderator is working really hard to help my live stream stay healthy. And so I do appreciate that, but I just got to let everybody know stuff like that is okay. She was asking about the little bot thing that I have in here, that the more you talk, it says you've been leveled up. You've been leveled up. You're at level 1, level 2. So she was asking, what does that mean? And I'm looking at the hidden message, and she spelled it out, so that's good. I don't see anything that she might have said that would have been bad. And even though he is speaking in another language, my Russian friend is okay. He only put 3 emojis on there. Now if there's a whole bunch, that's not good. But my Russian friend there, Mr. David, he's okay. Even though I cannot understand the words, that's okay. So yes, I'm just going over the live chat and making sure I didn't miss anybody, and going through and acknowledging everybody. So yes. Okay, yeah. I don't speak Russian. Nobody in here speaks Russian. So it may be kind of like weird, like, we don't know what you're saying, but it's okay. Now, I will be going back over the live chat and I will be translating it, but I hung out with him before. And he's a good guy. He doesn't say anything bad. He's not saying anything spammy. He's not being rude or disrespectful. So that's okay. If I go through these messages and I see something that shouldn't be there, then I will go ahead and I'll, take care of that. But yes, my Russian friend is okay. Don't block him. Blessing the Great is okay. Don't block her. All right, now that I'm at the top of this live stream, um let me give out acknowledgments and shout outs. So shout out to Nicole, shout out to Life of Key, shout out to me, because that's my message right there. Shout out to Katat and Cooking Mama's Homestead, shout out to Eva Frazier, shout out to Blessing the Great, shout out to my Russian friend David. I think I did look up your name before. I think that's how you say David in Russian. So shout out to brother David. Shout out to Destiny Forever Walks. Shout out to This Old Helmet. And shout out to, I feel like there was somebody else that came in. Shout out to Nightbot, even though you're no longer a moderator. Thank you for asking my questions for me, Nightbot. Shout out to Laverne Dorsey. Shout out to Nicole again. And yes, that's everybody who came in. You look fine, Barack. Beth is that name. Then it's just me and Nicole talking because everybody else fell asleep. Or maybe they're busy. Yep, and then the rest is me. And yes, that was an accident. Taking care of so much, needed to do some chores, but still listening. Okay. So there we go. I'm all caught up. I read the Bible. I said hello. I did my roll call. I did a little maintenance in the live chat just to let everybody know who's good and who's not. And everybody in here is good. I have yet to see a troll yet. Even though some of the messages might make you like, ooh, red flag, red flag. There are no trolls in here today, so that is good. Everybody in here is a friend. And yeah, that's it. So, taking care of much needed, still listening. Have a blessed day. 12 watching, hit the like button. Thank you to my other moderator, and I will see you all. I will see you in your next video. Ooh, quick prayer for today, and yeah, keep an eye out for the other video that's coming out this afternoon. It's gonna be a little short day in the life, and then yeah. Now that I think about it, got to get ready to record because I want to have like an actual true account of what it's like for me to do my day-to-days. And so that's that. Ooh, I'll turn that on after the prayer. Lord, thank you for today. Thank you for this wonderful Thursday. Thank you for a day without technical issues, even though it's probably going to still be a struggle until I feel like YouTube is making some changes on their end, and that's why some of us are experiencing some things. But you know what? What doesn't kill me makes me stronger, and I ain't dying no time soon. So even though it's frustrating, I just take it all and I'm thankful for it all because it helps me to learn. It helps me to stay on my feet. It's all good experience. And yes, I'm thankful for the struggle. I am. I'm thankful for the struggle because it makes me who I am. I'm thankful for this opportunity to read the Bible in the comfort and safety of my own home, to read it amongst friends, even those who are not believers. I'm just happy to have new friends in the room that feel interested enough to listen to me read. And so, in whatever way they need to be blessed, let them be blessed, either with some entertaining reading or the actual, spiritual weight of the word that may help them out in their day to day. And even if it's, hopefully, if it's motivational enough for them to start to read the Bible on their own, pique some interest, get them motivated, get them inspired so they can come to their own understanding and so they can build their own relationship with you, Lord, as they understand you. That is my prayer for today. Short and sweet, right to the meat, dessert on top. Can you please stop? Amen. The Lord gets my sense of humor, even if y'all don't. The Lord gets my sense of humor. So yeah, that's a quick pray, and let you guys go off on your day. This was a short one. It's not even an hour and a half yet, but that's okay. Um, each Bible reading has its own time frame, and that's that. So we read Judges 4, 5, and 6. Thank you all for joining me. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning for the next Bible reading party. And yes, be safe, be healthy, be blessed. I'll see you on the next one.
Entrepreneur Drive 40, Entrepreneur Drive. Entrepreneur Drive 40, Entrepreneur Drive. Entrepreneur Drive 40, Entrepreneur Drive. Thanks for watching, share, like, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you at the next Bible reading party,
So
7
I've got my
a.m.
little
Central
outro
Standard
playing,
Time.
and the live stream is done. This one was done a little bit earlier than normal. It is 8:13. It is 8:13 a.m. and the only thing I'm going to do now, after I shut this down, I'm going to go back into the description and the particulars of today. So I was reading the Bible. I'm going to go in and I'm going to put a little summary. That's something new I've been doing. I'm going to put a little summary in of what was read, the topics that were covered, and then sometimes I will put a link in, like if I use some images from the web or some other websites, I'll put those links in there so people can refer to them. But after this, I'm going to probably take a shower, grab something to eat, and come back and do any types of updates on like thumbnails and tags and check in with my comment section again. So I'll be back again. The time is now 8:14.